Last night, Tony Stewart said he was going to drive it like he stole it. That might be good strategy for this afternoon here at Richmond. Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, Jeff Gordon is having a pretty good day, but believe it or not, he said his car is pushing like the proverbial dump truck on the last stop. They put half a pound of air in the right front, raised the track bar, and crew chief Robbie Loomis also suggested to Jeff that he adjust the brake bias, put a little more into the front brakes. That's the situation for Jeff Gordon.
Compton and Atwood pit road violations will restart at the rear as we ride with Jeff Gordon and get the restart at lap 240.
160 laps to go. Still have 28 cars on the lead lap. Other than the cars involved in that wreck down in turn 3, the only lead lap car that pitted was Dave Blaney in the 77 car.
Boy, Ricky Rudd's got to be careful here. He's in and amongst a group of lapped cars. Couldn't go around the outside. Now he's got to fight for the inside. And Kenny Schrader in third, right behind Rudd.
Restarts are always your worst nightmare, especially on a track with about 1 1/2 grooves.
Rudd gets under Michael Waltrip. A little bit of daylight ahead now.
Michael's really been struggling. His car's not been good today. And that really surprises me because he ran the Busch race, finished 4th, and I thought he would have had a pretty good little hot rod today, but it just hadn't worked out for him.
Look at the car behind Ken Schrader. Martin made his way after starting in the 18th position up to 4th.
He's not that good, though, Larry. I've been watching him, just like you said. And he got up there. I'm not so sure he didn't take 2 tires to get up there.
Look at the telemetry on Kenny Schrader here. Down to about 5,800 down in turn 1 and 2. About 8,500 into 3 and 4. Into turn 3, about 300 less RPMs into 3 than into 1 because the front stretch is much longer than the back stretch. A lot more RPMs, a lot more miles per hour. You see the interval 2.5 seconds behind lead.
Boy, that was a slick move. Did you see that?
Yeah. Jeff Gordon just kind of moved Jeff Green aside right there.
Tony Stewart was about to move him aside off turn 2 as well and then backed off of him.
Boy, that's pretty aggressive driving right here. Right up on him. Of course, Tony Stewart's right down there with him. He got him a little loose getting in there. Jeff cuts right down in front of Tony.
And Tony Stewart.
Well, he saw what Jeff did. He said, that was a pretty cool move. Let me try it. Meanwhile, Jeff Green is getting his dandruff up.
Well, Jeff Green had a great car in the first half of this race.
Let me tell you, I think if he could catch Gordon back. Oh, there's a car around down there. Kyle Petty down turn 2, guys. Just went around on him. I couldn't tell if he got him from the outside. Looked like.
Lap 247, 9th yellow of this race.
Kurt Busch will not get his lap back.
No. Look at Green. Look at Green. Now, Kyle, we're over on the back straightaway having a little conversation here, guys.
Kyle got away from turn 2 and stays on the lead lap. There's a bit of hand gesturing going on there.
Yeah. They're having it now. He's going to go up here and explain that. Say, look, he's got 2 problems, 24 and 20.
And he's right between the 2 of them.
Now watch this. Watch this. He said that he can't get his attention. He drove up beside him on the left. He couldn't get his attention, so he drove up beside him on the right.
Steve?
Falling 30, 24,
yeah,
20 at noon.
Jeff Green just told his crew chief, Robbie Loomis, and asked him what Jeff Gordon's problem is. He nailed me twice at barriers up in the pit box talking to Robbie. Not like the contact that Jeff Gordon has made.
And then when you get done with that, run down that 20 car and ask Zipadelli what he's got a problem with.
Short tracks, short fuses.
And a lot of bit sheet metal.
Yes, sir.
Put a point for Jeff Green out of the 30 car. And I don't think he was saying you man.
Nope. He's made his point. 50 laps of this to go. Kyle Petty's made repairs and stayed on the lead lap after hitting the wall in turn 2. Steve?
And Mike, we just heard Jeff. Robbie Loomis relayed the message. Gordon's response was if he wasn't letting off so at the flag stand. It's Jeff Gordon's side of it.
We're under caution for Kyle Petty in turn 2. The red car, red and black car.
It's up here on the outside.
Just got up out of that groove, Darrell.
Nowhere to
No
go.
grip.
Now, up until they sealed this racetrack, people were making great passes up on the outside like that.
You could even run higher than that.
You could go all the way up against the wall down there.
So damage to the Sprint Dodge in the back, but Kyle stays on the lead lap. He radioed in and told the driver error. From Rusty Wallace's car.
Right side tires up there where there's just no grip.
When she starts to get a little twitchy like that, there's no grip. Round she goes.
Matt?
Well, Mike, Jimmy Johnson is slowly working his way to the front. Currently 9th. And his crew chief, Chad Canals, on your last stop, probably one more stop. What are you going to do to adjust that car to make it another winning car?
I really couldn't hear you too well there, Matt. Right now our car is just a little bit tight in the center. I tell you what, we have got a serious case of pit road disease. Every time we come on pit road, if we have a good pit stop, we get blocked in the pits. If it's a green flag stop, the caution comes out. If we can ever get this pit road problem we've got solved, I think we're going to be pretty good. But our car's really good today. We got one more chance to adjust on it. Jimmy's very happy with it. I think if we can get up front, get away from these lappers, and maybe have us a real good run. The Lowe's Chevrolet is just running great, and Jimmy's really up on the wheel today.
On the restart, it is Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Schrader, Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Green, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson.
We get up on that outside. It's just got a tippy toe here. Rudd would like to get in front of that 11 car and does.
Still got Kurt Busch in the 97 to contend with. Kurt a lap down.
Kurt was pretty speedy, though, on that restart we just had and able to stay out in front of Rudd. Here we go. Chapter 2.
Battle for 6. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Green. Tony Stewart right there with them.
What Green is going to find is he is the rock between two hard places.
Now it looks like that bottom groove definitely prevailing down at 1 and 2.
Man,
Green and Stewart together.
They got together.
Stewart can't get underneath Mark Martin.
Oh, but he will.
Outside.
Behind Tony Stewart, got Jimmy Johnson. He wants to take advantage of that bottom groove moving in the 48 car.
Boy, it's hard to come up off of turn 2 underneath somebody and accelerate hard like Tony's doing. That tells you his car's handling pretty good. Tony's faster, but he's pinned down on the inside by Mark. If he could ever clear Mark, he could go on, I think. Meanwhile, up at the ranch,
Mr. Spencer has pulled out to over a second lead in just about 4 laps.
And he and Ricky Rudd turning identical lap times.
now you just remember, this cat, Jimmy Spencer, won both Busch races here last year. He was leading, or was going to win the Busch race here this year and had a mechanical failure, so he knows how to get the car right for this joint.
Spencer out front of Rudd by a full second.
Easy in, put laps on the board here.
Bobby Labonte has returned to the race, damage repaired, and now Dale Jarrett comes back on the racetrack.
Here Jimmy Spencer spotter telling him to ease it in. Where you beat people here and where you run fast lap times, it's not overdriving the entrance. It's beating them off the corner.
Man, it's crowded down there getting into turn 1. Not enough room for 2 cars to get in there side by side, but they keep doing it.
And Jeff Green climbs the hill in turn 3.
That could be a flat tire from all that rubbing. He's been banging around and getting pushed around.
We talk about that a lot. You could knock a valve stem off.
And if you get up out of the groove, there's just enough trash up there that...
right there. Left rear tire possibly could be.
Or that'd be a shame because Green has really had a fast car today and he's done well with it.
I don't believe, don't look like we have a flat tire.
What happened was he got up out of the groove, picked up some of that loose rubber and trash up out of the groove, and it took him a lap or 2 to get it cleaned off and get going again.
you ever have gum stick to your shoe? It's kind of the same thing. You have to scrape it all off before you can take a normal step again, and that's what happens to these tires.
Yeah, they're hot, they're sticky, and any trash that's on the racetrack when you get up out of the groove, it'll stick right to them. Whoa, there's a car high.
Sadler. And Joe Nemechek, you see he has climbed to 10th. Now Nemechek had to start this race last because of the driver change. He's subbing for Johnny Benson, who has an injured rib from Friday night's Busch race.
And he said, you know, I was sitting at home watching Happy Hour, and obviously Johnny had a good car. All I had to do is get in and get comfortable.
Mike Skinner, turn 2.
I don't think there's a caution, though, is there?
That's about the second or third car in turn 2 in the last 3 laps we've seen have a problem. Elliott Sadler just a couple of laps ago.
I think it's just a product of trying to arc it down in there, Larry, and there's just not any grip there. The cars twitch.
Turned down in John Andretti of the 43 car and got him. The 22 car, pole sitter, he's going to be back on the racetrack after having the transmission problems.
36 laps down. In a car that coulda, woulda, shoulda won it. Jimmy Spencer's opened his lead now to 0.8 of a second.
We're trying to keep up with all the action, but it's hard to.
9 cautions so far, 136 laps to go in the Pontiac Excitment 400. $130 laps to go, and the Pontiac Excitment 400 has lived up to its name. 9 caution flags so far. And don't forget, right after today's race on FX, special extended post-race coverage for you on Speed Channel. Right after we go off the air, you can switch over to Speed for more interviews and race analysis. Then Monday night at 7 Eastern, 9 Pacific, Michael Waltrip, Johnny Benson, Kenny Schrader relive the weekend on NASCAR Inside Winston Cup with Alan Bestwick. To get Speed Channel, call 888-22-SPEED. Kenny Schrader and Mark Martin battling now for 8th place.
Yeah, that's it. Get that rhythm back. Let's stay right there.
Look at the up and down day of Matt Kenseth.
He's battling Ricky Craven here now for 13th. And just remember, we restarted this race today at lap 66. He was sitting on pit road going 2 laps down before you even got the green flag.
And folks, this is why when a guy's up there racing that leader and you say, why does he keep doing that? This is why he keeps doing that. To get back on the lead lap, get back in the race, and he's going to salvage some pretty good day here.
Let's have a look back through this field from Jimmy Spencer, the race leader. 0.8 of a second back. We'll find Ricky Rudd, the second place car, whose lap times are right identical to Spencer on the watch, within 100th of a second right now. As we've kind of gotten into a cruise control phase of this race. Ryan Newman has been the leading rookie in this race all day. He's third, but he's 4.7 seconds and a bunch of lapped cars behind Spencer. 15th place, Jeff Burton, Joe Nemechek, Terry Labonte battling. You know, for 275 laps, there's always been a battle somewhere on this racetrack.
We can find a battle. Right now, Rusty's got his hands full with a 77. That's a battle.